Hello, and welcome to an overview of the KDE Hub in mental health promotion for children and youth. My name is Barb Riley, the Hub's founding scientific director. Thank you for your interest in the Hub and for joining me for this overview. It's intended as a refresher for those already familiar with the Hub and an initial orientation for others. It's also intended to be short, sweet, and to the point, with options for seeking more information, including by contacting the Hub team. So welcome. The overview covers three main components: the Mental Health Promotion Innovation Fund, or MHPIF, the funded projects for Phase 1, and the KDE Hub. For the Hub itself, I cover our vision and niche, main contributions and activities to make these contributions, the Hub's core commitments, and main organizational elements. So starting with the MHPIF. The MHPIF began by aligning itself with the World Health Organization definition of mental health and wellness, the definition on this slide. This definition touches on mental health from individual through societal levels, consistent with the population and public health perspective of the MHPIF. The field of population mental health promotion is evolving, and so are definitions. It may be that the MHPIF is able to contribute to development of shared language and concepts in this field, a possible systemic influence. At this point, the MHPIF defines its niche by a set of main characteristics. One main characteristic is population served, so children and youth and those who influence them. Within this broad niche, the intention is to emphasize population subgroups who experience systemic barriers that compromise mental health and well-being. These systemic barriers relate to the next hallmark. The MHPIF focuses on determinants of mental health, conditions that support or compromise mental health and wellness. The MHPIF aims to address both risk and protective factors. Risk factors are things like family conflict, poor emotional and self-regulation, and unsafe neighborhoods. Protective factors include things like social and emotional learning, quality parenting and childcare, social inclusion, and freedom from violence and discrimination. The overall intention with the MHPIF is to move as upstream as possible, with a focus on healthy child development, culturally safe social and physical environments. These determinants and ways to address them are nested within a socio-ecological model, a type of systems model, so operating at multiple levels, from the individual through societal, in multiple sectors, such as education, social services, community design, and within multiple jurisdictions, such as local, regional, provincial territorial, national, and international. Now, modeled after the previous innovation strategy, the MHPIF is envisioned to have 3 phases of funding, and for a total duration of 10 years. Phase 1 mainly focuses on initial design and testing. Phase 2 on more comprehensive and stable implementation and evaluation. And Phase 3 on scaling up impact. Only projects that are funded in Phase 1 are eligible for Phase 2, and only those funded in Phase 2 are eligible for Phase 3. That's what is meant by gated funding. Knowledge development and exchange is another hallmark of the MHPIF, including an enhanced focus compared to the previous innovation strategy, and why, in fact, the KDE Hub exists. The essence of KDE is to apply what we know, so best available evidence to optimize program and project design, implementation, and results, and to learn as we go. So learn about how to do mental health promotion, how it seems to be working, with whom, where, and how. We'll take a little closer look at the funding model itself. Over 2 years ago, there was an open call for project applications. No lack of demand. 335 letters of intent were submitted. Full applications were invited from a small subset of these, so the 38, and submitted applications underwent external review. By fall 2019, Phase 1 funding agreements were signed with 20 projects. In the spring of 2020, Phase 1 was extended by 1 year due to COVID-19. Phase 1 now ends March 31st, 2022. 20 projects are currently funded. The pins on the slide show the location of the lead organizations. Within these 20 projects, there are a total of about 140 intervention sites located in 11 provinces and territories. All projects have goals that are aligned with the MHPIF and yet are quite diverse in many other ways. For example, projects variably engage different populations, be it Indigenous, newcomer, refugee, immigrant, transgender, infant, school-aged, etc. They address many different determinants of mental health. So social support networks and environments, cultural identity, gender identities, social emotional learning, pro-social behaviors. Projects use different approaches such as trauma-informed, strengths-based, arts-based, land-based, culturally safe, and participatory, and they are led by a mix of universities, community organizations, and national organizations and networks. An appendix to the slideshow includes a brief description of each of the 20 projects with more information available on the Hub's website. The Knowledge Development and Exchange Hub is also funded through the MHPIF. It was not part of the previous innovation strategy and was established to improve the use, creation, and influence of knowledge within the MHPIF. Again, to apply what we know from best available evidence, learn as we go, and support the influence of any new knowledge on programs, policies, and advancing the field of child and youth mental health promotion. The Hub is hosted by Renison University College at the University of Waterloo. We are guided by a vision for child and youth mental health promotion in Canada that is evidence-informed, sensitive to context, sensitive to cultures, equitable, and sustainable. This is essentially our North Star. All supports we offer are aiming to contribute to this vision, primarily with the MHPIF funded projects and secondarily with others who share interests with the funded projects. Our niche, therefore, relates to a content focus, so mental health promotion, populations, children and youth, especially those experiencing systemic barriers to mental health and wellness, desired attributes expressed in our vision, and the groups we serve most directly, the MHPIF projects and those who share their interests, including those who have roles in creating conditions for scaling, implementation, and impact of promising approaches. The Hub achieves its vision through three main contributions. The first is the development or creation of new knowledge that is highly relevant, credible, and timely. So that's the Hub's RCT. This includes new knowledge development within and across MHPIF projects with an emphasis across projects for the Hub. The second main contribution is building community and capacity as essential approaches for effective KDE. That is, effective learning and influence. The third main contribution is helping to strengthen systemic supports, so creating a receptive environment for scaling promising approaches and overall impact of child and youth mental health promotion. Within each of these areas of contribution, the Hub undertakes a range of activities. Sample activities are shown here. Activities are evolving based on wants, needs, and capacities of all involved, working within a complex environment and within practical parameters like a steady state annual budget of $500,000 for the Hub. We continue to discern the most appropriate, unique contributions from the Hub. For example, a main approach we're developing in phase 1 for creating new knowledge, so on the far left, is through co-designing and facilitating studies that involve all or most projects. An example is a study on pandemic adaptations in phase 1 using narrative inquiry. The center column for building community and capacity. The Hub's annual symposium is a major activity. And we continue to experiment with selective curation of resources and ways to help make connections across projects. We emphasize virtual means of building community and capacity, primarily through the Hub's web-based platform. And that's really to ensure equity across the projects that are dispersed across the country and is also most feasible with our resource base. The third column on the far right, strengthening systemic supports, is in the earliest stage of development of all three Hub contributions. Initial activities are helping to shape thinking about possible futures for projects, how might decisions be made about sustaining and scaling, innovations and impact, and getting to know some key players and actors who share interests with the MHPIF projects. Underpinning all of these Hub activities is a set of what we call our core commitments. The Hub's core commitments are action-oriented expressions of our values and theoretical foundations. They're listed on our website, each with a brief explanation. One commitment that shapes many of the others is our commitment to act in ways that respect properties of complex systems, the one on the right here. This commitment conveys systems thinking as central in shaping the Hub's expression of who we are, what we do, and how. Systems thinking provides a rationale for our improvement orientation, participatory approaches, supporting existing expertise and leadership, and honoring multiple worldviews and knowledge systems, several of the other core commitments that you see on this slide. The latter is worth punctuating, our commitment to honor multiple ways of knowing and doing. Within this commitment, we emphasize two-eyed seeing. One eye with Euro-Western perspectives and one eye with Indigenous perspectives. The final segment of Hub orientation is about the organization. There are four main components. The first is the Hub Secretariat, housed at Renison University College. The Secretariat includes a scientific director and a Hub staff team, so a managing director, implementation managers, evaluation and research manager. The Secretariat can essentially be thought about as the hub of the Hub. It manages and coordinates all the work of the Hub. The second bubble, the Hub Resource Collaborative, is intentionally not a common name. The HRC combines aspects of steering, advisory, working, yet is not any one of these alone. Founding members actually came up with this name. The word resource conveys perspectives that are relevant to the work of the Hub. The word collaborative conveys a sense of community and collective. I'll describe a bit more about the HRC in subsequent slides. The next component is Hub consultants, who are also resources to the Hub with more typical contractual arrangements with the Secretariat. A Renison liaison team, finally, provides a link between the Hub and its host institution for regular updates and planning for ways to serve the Renison community in meaningful ways, such as opportunities for both faculty and students. As promised, I provide a few additional details about the Hub Resource Collaborative. For HRC members who are viewing this presentation as an orientation or a refresher, and for others who may be interested in nominating themselves or others for this collaborative, or who may be interested in learning about perspectives informing the Hub. Working with founding HRC members, and after a year of evolving the Hub's identity and activities, we codified our experience into terms of reference. The terms of reference acknowledge different gives and gets for individual members, as well as a common set of member commitments, the ones that are shown on this slide. The common set includes supporting some fundamental Hub foundations, agreeing to appear on the Hub website, attending monthly one-hour virtual meetings, helping to make connections and links that support the Hub and the MHPIF, and engaging in Hub activities such as writing a blog for the Hub website, facilitating a Hub webinar, leading or contributing to Hub research opportunities, supervising student practicums. Founding HRC members also helped to identify perspectives that were considered most desirable for contributing to HRC discussions. These are listed here. Some members may bring more than one perspective. This is especially true for organizational members who involve different people for different purposes. The main point about HRC composition is about diversity of perspectives. We aim to maintain between 9 and 20 members and do an annual review of membership with adjustments throughout the year as appropriate. There are many points of contact with the Hub and listed here: our website, Twitter handle and main hashtags, and an email to the Secretariat. Please use these freely and feel free to contact individual Hub members directly as well. We're most interested in making connections and very flexible for how those are made. I mentioned earlier in the presentation an appendix that describes each of the 20 funded projects. These brief descriptions are on the next 6 slides. And following some closing remarks, I'll move through the slides without speaking to them. You can stop the presentation and read the descriptions as you wish and at your own pace. The most common question from projects and about projects relates to areas of shared interest. These areas cover many different domains: population, settings, intervention approaches, So there are no single best groupings or clusters for projects. The next 6 slides group projects mostly by population groups. And they are written in the preferred language for each project. So 17 are in English and 3 are in French. Similar descriptions and additional information about the projects are available on the Hub's website, which also has a search function for shared keywords. The Hub's website, in addition, is fully bilingual. So in closing, thank you for your interest and attention. I hope this overview was informative, short enough, and sweet enough, and I look forward to any exchanges it may prompt between you and us at the Hub.